What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are, fifth consecutive green day in a row, up about $18,000 this week, which is great. Now, I was a little aggressive in the goal of hoping to be up 20,000 this week. You know, sometimes I set the bar a little high for myself, so I'm coming up short. But by always setting the bar high, you know, I'm striving to do better and better and better. And even though I often come up short because I set such, you know, aggressive and ambitious goals, I still end up doing much better than I would have done if I had just said, well, $1,000 a day is good and I'll be done with that, right? I'd be up only $5,000 this week. So instead, I'm up $18,000, which is terrific. The last 5 days have been hot. Today was tricky. It really was. I mean, we had this huge move yesterday on BPTH. As a result, we saw a lot of stocks take off today, but most of them didn't have good follow-through. They would pop up and drop back down, which made it kind of hard because, you know, if I jumped right into the long side, I was afraid I was getting in too high. Of course, if I jumped short, well, you know, after big moves yesterday, I didn't really want to do that either. So it was just a lot of whippiness, and I navigated through that, and then I'm going to finish the morning with about $1,400 profit. Green is good. Live to trade another day. I'm going to be back at it first thing on Monday morning. All right, as usual, any questions, any comments, leave them below. Give me a shout out of how much you made today, what you traded, and I'll see you guys first thing on Monday. All right, everyone, so we're going to do midday market recap. Finishing the morning a little on the earlier side today. I'm taking the money and I'm going to walk away. Up $1,448.52. Another green day, which is great. You know, I had a bit of an aggressive goal this week. Wanted to make about $20,000. I'm a little short of that, up $18,000 on the week. But today's kind of interesting because, you know, with yesterday's crazy move on BPTH, I knew that today we would, you know, emotions would be running strong in the market. We would have a lot of volatility, lots of things happening, and that was definitely true. But it wasn't actually the easiest to trade because some of the moves were a little unpredictable and not necessarily the cleanest patterns, the things that we typically rely on for good quality entries and exits. So this morning, the watch list was pretty simple. We had BPTH that we were watching for as a continuation stock. I wasn't actually interested in trading it, mostly because, you know, it's $36, $31. But, you know, it was something that we kept an eye on. We'll do a time frame historical scan here for 9:25 a.m. So leading gapper this morning, TROV, Trove. Up 125%, the bell rings, it sells off. Now, I liked it if it broke the pre-market highs, but it wasn't able to break the pre-market highs, so no trades on that for me. Next one down, Seal. Now, on this one, we had this sort of pre-market pivot right here around $6. It squeezed up to let's see, the high was 620. No, what is the high here? Sorry, the high is 749. It pulled back, and on this one I tried to do a dip buy where I tried to buy, where was it? I think it was right around 7, and then it ended up falling down. So I lost 420 bucks on that on 6,000 shares, but I kept my stops tight, which is really important. That's the name of the game, keeping stops tight. TNXP, straight off the watch list, right here, gapping up 65%. With news, jumped in for the break of the pre-market high. 355 was the pre-market high, 360. Jumped in for the break, and we made a squeeze up to 420. So right there, we had a nice, you know, 60-cent squeeze. I jumped in it and made about $1,700 on that first trade. I then tried to do on this one a dip buy as well, where I tried to get in right down here, thinking this was going to dip down and then surge back up. And instead of buying the break, I tried to buy the support level, and I gave back about $400 on that. So one loss on Seal, one loss on TNXP. So that's 2 losses so far and 2 winners. And then we had SBOT come up. SBOT, you know, initially I wasn't that into it because the pre-market chart, you know, it was on the gap scanner and everything else, but the pre-market chart showed this stock, you know, pop up and then fade and stair step down. So I just didn't really think it was going to be that great. Very rarely do you see these actually break the pre-market highs. But this was showing some strength, and given all the FOMO we've had in the market, I figured I would take a stab right here. So I took a stab right here on this 1 minute micro pullback, and it squeezes all the way up here to 251, gets halted, opens higher, and hits a high of 275. I did 3 trades on it. I did the first trade here where I made 1,000. I did a second trade right, where was it? My second trade on it was actually like right in here, where I tried to add coming out of the halt, and I lost like 1,500. So I was now down 500 on the name, and then I got back in for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high right here, and sold at 80 and made back 1,000. So in total today, I had 4 losers, and let's see, two winners on SBOT, 1 winner on TNXP. So 4 losers and 3 winners, which is kind of a bummer. But despite my accuracy being a little poorer today, I still am up $1,400, which is great. It's a good day. But this is also part of me recognizing that this is not a day for me to keep pushing it. This isn't a day for me to try to hit a home run or take it to the next level. I'm green only on 3 out of 7 trades. My accuracy is not as good, and I think it's just the nature of today. We're seeing these emotions running higher. We're seeing a little bit more irrational moves, and that's at times can be a little bit more difficult to trade. Seal, it looks like it's selling off again, dropping down, getting halted. This one was kind of frustrating because the bulk of the move was after hours and then pre-market at 4:35 in the morning. We don't trade those hours, and it was on incredibly light volume anyways. The spreads must have been massive. So, I don't have FOMO that I missed that opportunity. I'm just disappointed because by the time the bell rang, kind of all the action was done, and we didn't get that good follow through. But in any case, this is my 5th consecutive green week. Which is obviously, 5th consecutive green day, which is obviously terrific. And, $18,000 week is a great week. It's in the shadow a little bit of losing, about 8,500, 9,000 on last Friday. So, it's going to put me up, on the month, I guess, right around 10K or something like that. We'll have to see where I'm at on the month, but it's that all that's a little bit disappointing, that I have had to dig myself out of the hole, but that's fine. It is what it is. I'm out of the hole. I'm back at all-time highs. The IRA account here is growing. We're getting closer to $120,000. I started this account this year with 29 grand. It's up close to 300% here. So that's nice. I'm very happy with that. My main account, I didn't trade in it today, so that one's just sitting tight. I'd like to trade in it, but at the same time, given the tax rate, it's like there's not really any point unless I want to short something, because I can't short in my IRA account. And then my Centerpoint account, I didn't trade in today because there were no shares available to borrow except for BPTH, which was available at $1.28 per share, which means if I'd reserved 1,000 shares, it would have cost me $1,280 just to reserve the shares. So that was a no-go. So and no shares available on Trove or Seal, and I tried both of them twice. So whatever, that's fine. But it does go to show that if your strategy is based on short selling, even if you end up funding an account that typically has shares available to borrow, it doesn't mean you're still going to be able to trade it. And that's why, for me, being a long biased trader is just so much easier. I don't have to go through that extra hurdle of reserving shares and paying to reserve shares and trying to find who has them and all that stuff. So, I know a lot of you guys like to trade to the short side, which is fine, but, it's just one of those things you got to kind of deal with. So, Daniel, a few words about the Roth IRA and why I like that. Well, the Roth IRA is the growth is tax-free, and the withdrawals are tax-free. So it's all tax-free, and so that's the big appeal to it. Now, I did a traditional IRA contribution, and then anyone can do a conversion of a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. When you convert from traditional to Roth, you have to pay the income tax on the amount that you convert. So, whatever, I paid that income tax, and now I've got this tax-free account, which is awesome. If I need the money, if I absolutely need the money, I can withdraw it. However, I pay 2 penalties. The first is a 10% penalty, and the second is I have to pay income tax on my withdrawal at my tax rate. So I mean, it's not that I can't take money out. Like if I grow this to $1 million, or whatever the case is, and at age 55, I'm like, you know what, I really need to take some money out. And at that point, I'm no longer in, the highest income bracket for taxes. Then, I could go ahead and say, well, I'm going to take out 50 grand and I'm going to have to pay, the 10% penalty on it. That's 5,000. I'm going to have to pay income tax on $50,000, which is probably like, I don't know, 15 or 20% or something like that. So, I'll still get to take out 75% of the money, at that time. And that's a decision that, anyone can make if they feel they need to. So, and honestly, realistically, even if I was just going to do that, that's not a bad strategy either, because right now I'm in the highest income bracket. So any income that I can put into tax-free and defer it is great. So anyways, that's kind of yeah, I don't know about the 5-year rule. I'll have to look into that, but in any case, I'm mostly trading in this account now that I have enough buying power to pretty much trade as I'd like. There have been a couple times where I switch and trade in my main account here, my regular account, because I don't have enough buying power. So I can trade in both a little bit and try to kind of double up my profits, which is good. I have income tax on this side, but I can withdraw the profits immediately. So, it's okay. I can do a little bit of that as I see fit, and there will be days where I do it. I have to be seeing a pretty solid setup. It's hard to be a scalp trader in 2 accounts because, if you're scalp trading in 2 accounts, quick entries, quick exits, that's really quite difficult. Being a trend trader in 2 accounts is easier. So, it's kind of an issue with the, with the strategy you're trading. So anyway, so yeah, Seal just going lower. This one's giving it up. So, at this point, the day's done. I'm not expecting to see anything clean for the rest of the day. So I'm throwing in the towel, taking my $1,400 and walking away happy with that. It's $1,400 more than I had about an hour ago. So 1 hour of trading, $1,400. Green is good. We'll be back at it first thing on Monday morning. All right, I hope you guys all have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Monday. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.